Our next question, Jim, was sent in to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Tim in Newark, New Jersey. With all of the bruisers and crushers and cripplers in wrestling history, can you think of times that there was heat between two guys simply because they were working under the same nickname?
Well, Dick the Bruiser and Bruiser Brody, not because of the name. When they brought Brody into St. Louis and Indianapolis, because of Dick the Bruiser's tenure and stature and the fact that he was the owner in one place and one of the biggest stars ever in the other one, they changed Brody's name from Bruiser Brody to King Kong Brody. But it wasn't over the name. I heard one time at Bruiser, and this was, I remember when Brody came in, I'm going to say 1980-ish, because Bruiser was fading fast his company and trying anything. And he brought Brody in to work shots with him in Indianapolis and various towns around. And apparently Brody was not happy about his goddamn payoff one night he got handed. So he fucking walked out and walked into the goddamn babyface locker room and fucking told Bruiser that he needed some more money. And Bruiser, I don't think, was anxious to give it to him. And there was fuck you. And Dick the Bruiser thought that it was still many years beforehand, and they got into it, and Brody got the better of it. And then I also heard that the following week or the following show or whatever, Bruiser comes walking in the locker room, and there's Brody sitting there, and Bruiser sticks his hand in his pocket and comes out with a couple of $100 in between his fucking fingers and shoots it at him like a gun. So boom, there you go. We're square. But and also, to be honest, and I know there's all those myths about Brody, but when you read about Bruiser, if it had been 1960 instead of 1980, I think he'd have probably fucked Bruiser Brody up. But that's just me. The King, Lawler, when Harley raced, they made Harley the King in the WWF in 87? They were having a WWF house show in Nashville, advertising King Harley race, and Lawler sued him and blocked it because he had an enforceable copyright or trademark or whatever on the King in the state of Tennessee for prior usage for all those years. And I think that's why Harley is not complimentary of Jerry Lawler to this day. Nobody ever wanted their gimmick ripped off. I'm trying to think of any other real...
Why were there so many hacksaws? Within a short period of time, there was Hacksaw Higgins, Hacksaw Duggan, Hacksaw Reed.
And where did they all come from or get that name?
From the hacksaw himself, Bill Watts.
Because I understand that is a term in football.
Ah, I didn't know that.
I believe it is. Somebody knows better, but or a nickname in football or some kind of football slang or whatever the fuck. But anyway, and of course, then there was Hack Sawyer, who was Buzz Sawyer's little brother Brett, but that didn't last the whole time. But yeah, similar names. That's the thing is there was 2 or 3 Gorgeous Georges. There was the original, obviously, and then there was Gorgeous George Grant, who later on became a fucking evangelist. So he lied to people in a variety of professions. And then there's always some outlaw. The guy says, I was the original superstar, or I was the assassin. How do you know any different? Well, we in the business know, but when they're telling their neighbor or the guy at Chick-fil-A, they don't fucking know.
Do you remember when King Kong Bundy worked a few shots for the AWA, they changed his name?
I'm trying to remember. What did they change it to?
Boom Boom Bundy.
Oh, good Lord. I did not remember that.
Instead of King Kong Bundy, because King Kong had already been taken.